What you're about to hear is not ordinary advice. It is not another motivational cliche. This is the decision. The decision that divides the men who drift from the men who build. The decision that rewrites your story, your habits, your future, and it begins the moment you stop asking, "What if I fail?" and start declaring, "I cannot lose." Most men never make this shift. They live like life is something that just happens to them. They wake up waiting for proof, waiting for signs, waiting for permission, and in that waiting, years pass. Dreams die. Potential rots in silence. But history doesn't remember the men who waited. It remembers the men who decided. Henry Ford didn't ask if the automobile was possible. He declared it inevitable. Thomas Edison didn't treat failure as a verdict. He treated it as confirmation that he was closer to the light. Andrew Carnegie didn't wait for the economy to turn. He bent entire industries with his will. What separated them wasn't luck or timing or even talent. It was a single inner decision. I will act as if success is already mine. And here's the truth no one wants to admit. Your life bends to your assumptions. If you assume defeat, you will sabotage yourself into proving it true. If you assume victory, you will persist until the world has no choice but to hand it to you. This is not wishful thinking. This is mental engineering. This is how you rewire the very lens through which you see reality. Now let me ask you a question that has the power to split your life into before and after. What if you decided right now that everything is working in your favor? Even the setbacks, even the betrayals, even the silence when nobody claps. What if you believed, not hoped, not wished, but believed that it all had to serve you? Because that decision changes everything. It changes how you walk into a room. It changes how you speak when the odds are against you. It changes how you endure when the evidence says you're losing. Because you no longer operate on the weak question, what if it doesn't work out? You operate on the unshakable command. This is already done. That is the one decision that rewrites your entire life. It is not made once. It is made daily, hourly, relentlessly, until your subconscious accepts it as law. Most people will never get here. They live and die in hesitation. They negotiate with fear. They build halfway and then quit when life pushes back. But not you, not after today. Because from this moment forward, hesitation dies here. Doubt dies here. The old version of you, the one who shrinks, who second guesses, who waits for permission, cannot survive the decision you are about to make. And here's where you prove it. You already know deep down whether you're ready for change. And here's a simple way to show it. Not to me, but to yourself. Subscribing right now is more than just clicking a button. It's your declaration. I'm done holding myself back. I'm choosing growth, and I'm choosing it today. Don't just let this video inspire you. Let it mark the turning point. Subscribe now and step fully into your new life. This video is not motivation. This is reprogramming, a reset, an installation of a new operating system. And by the time this decision burns into your mind, you will not think the same, you will not move the same, and you will never again accept the life of a drifter. So listen closely. Speak these truths aloud. Let them enter your nervous system like fuel. Because what we do next will decide whether you drift into regret or step into the destiny you were born to command. Let's start with the reality. Most men run from life will not hand you clarity. It will not hand you certainty. It will not send you a signal that says now is the right time. No, life will test you with silence, with resistance, with storms that make you question if the dream was even worth chasing. And here's where 99% of people collapse. They think struggle is a sign they are on the wrong path. But the men who rise, they know struggle is the very signal that confirms they are close. Because pressure does not come to the weak. Pressure visits those preparing for greatness. So here's the decision. From now on, you no longer interpret struggle as punishment. You interpret it as preparation. Every betrayal is protection. Every delay is construction. Every setback is the detour that delivers you to the version of yourself capable of holding the dream. That shift alone, that one decision, rewrites your entire life. Because when you believe the outcome is certain, you don't panic when the scoreboard says you're losing. You keep building. When no one is clapping, you keep leading. When fear screams at you to stop, you move anyway. Why? Because the decision has already been made. Edison didn't collapse after 100 failures. He didn't fold after 1,000. He said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that don't work." That wasn't stubbornness, it was certainty. He had already decided the light bulb was his. The experiments were simply the path to reveal it. Henry Ford, he didn't chase approval. He didn't try to silence his critics with debate. He silenced them with factories, with engines, with a vision already made real in his mind. He walked like it was already done. That is not arrogance. That is assumption with discipline. That is certainty with motion. And that's what separates the drifter from the builder. The drifter waits for validation. The builder moves as if validation already exists. The drifter begs for a sign. The builder becomes the sign. So ask yourself right now, will you live the rest of your life waiting to see, or will you live like it's already written? Because here's the dangerous truth. The world will mirror whatever you assume. If you assume failure, your mind will hunt for evidence of it. If you assume betrayal, you will interpret loyalty as a ticking clock. If you assume things never work for me, your subconscious will filter your world until that becomes your only reality. But when you assume certainty, when you wake up and whisper to yourself, "Everything is working out for me," your subconscious bends reality to fit that command. You notice opportunities you once ignored. You persist where you once quit. You attract allies who feel the power of your conviction, because faith is contagious, and nothing shakes a man who has already decided the ending. Say it right now. I live as if everything is working in my favor. I do not beg for proof. I build in silence. I prepare in the dark, and I will not fold, because the ending is already written. That is not hype. That is law. That is the new operating system being installed into your life right now. There is one quality that separates the man who watches life happen from the man who shapes it with his own hands. One quality that divides the drifter from the builder, the lost from the locked in. That quality is definiteness of purpose. Not a vague dream, not a midnight wish list, not a vision board that collects dust. Purpose that burns like fire. Purpose that narrows your path and makes distraction impossible. Purpose that wakes you up before the alarm, because your mind is already orbiting your mission. Without it, your hours scatter. Your focus dissolves. You chase a dozen paths and master none. You confuse activity with achievement, noise with direction, busyness with progress, and in the end you collapse under the weight of mediocrity. But when you make the decision to live with definiteness of purpose, everything changes. Your days stop drifting. Your mind sharpens. You no longer ask, "What will today bring me?" Instead, you command the day to deliver what you've already decided. Henry Ford didn't wake up hoping for wealth. He decided to revolutionize transportation, and wealth followed. Abraham Lincoln didn't stumble into greatness. He made a decision so final, so unshakable, that not even a divided nation could rip it from him. Charles Schwab didn't dabble. He knew exactly what he was there to build, and his purpose was so clear that others had no choice but to follow. Purpose is magnetic. It pulls allies into your orbit. It makes hesitation impossible. It builds momentum even when you're moving alone. So here is the moment of truth. Do you know your purpose? Do you know without hesitation, without doubt, why you are here? Because if you don't, no system, No strategy, no habit will save you. Your progress will always collapse under pressure. Your habits will always dissolve in chaos, and your mind will always default back to fear. Purpose is the glue. Purpose is the fuel. Purpose is the frame that makes every other decision easier. Once you decide on it, distractions lose their power, critics lose their volume, and fear loses its grip. This is the decision I'm asking of you now. To draw a line in the sand, to declare the aim that will not move, no matter how hard the storm blows. Because when a man lives without purpose, he drifts into regret. But when a man locks onto purpose, he bends the world to match his vision. So, write it, speak it, burn it into your nervous system, protect it with your life. And when the world tests you, as it surely will, do not flinch, do not fold, do not forget. The decision has been made. The path has been narrowed. The target is fixed. From this moment forward, you are not a man who hopes. You are a man who knows. You are not a man who waits. You are a man who commands. You are not a drifter. You are a builder. And the future is already yours. Now listen closely, because this is the part most men miss. The decision isn't made once. It's made daily, in silence, in struggle. In the unseen hours when no one claps, no one cares, and no one believes, that's when the real decision is tested. Anyone can claim purpose when life feels light, but only the few, the rare, the builders, hold the line when life is heavy, and that's why the world bends to them, because life respects the man who doesn't flinch. Life rewards the man who doesn't renegotiate with fear. Life crowns the man who says, I have already decided, and nothing will move me. Do you understand what that makes you? Unstoppable, not because you're the smartest, not because you're the most talented, but because you're the most decided. Talent without decision is wasted. Brilliance without decision is buried. Potential without decision rots. But the man who decides, he multiplies, he compounds, he rises. Every giant you admire, from Edison to Lincoln to Carnegie to Ford, they all carried this one trait. They decided who they were, long before the world confirmed it. And the world had no choice but to follow. So I'll ask you now, before this video fades, before you slip back into the current of distraction, what is your decision? Not tomorrow, not when conditions are perfect, not when you feel ready. Now say it, write it, live it, guard it, defend it. Because if you do, your identity will shift, your energy will shift, your results will shift, and one day, not far from now, the world will look at you and say, something changed. He walks different, he speaks different, he is different, and you'll smile because you'll know the truth. It wasn't luck, it wasn't timing, it wasn't chance. It was one decision that rewrote your entire life. So stand tall, lift your chest, look the world in the eye, and repeat these words until they burn into your nervous system. I am not waiting. I am not drifting. I am not asking. I decide. I commit. I advance. And from this moment forward, everything is already mine, because it is. The door is open. The world is waiting. And the man who has decided is unstoppable.